Exam Scholar, Real Estate Edition.
Question 1. An agreement in which the owner of a property provides financing, often in combination with an assumable mortgage, is called A. A seller carryback, B. A buyer carryback, C. An assumable agreement, D. A mortgage carryback. Answer: A. A seller carryback is when the owner provides financing on a property. This is often in combination with an assumable mortgage. Question 2. A drawing or map showing the precise legal boundaries of a property, the location of improvements, easements, rights-of-way, encroachments, and other physical features is called A. A survey, B. An appraisal, C. A plottage, D. A rendering. Answer: A. In real estate, a survey is a drawing or map showing the precise legal boundaries of a property, the location of improvements, easements, rights-of-way, encroachments, and other physical features. Question 3. The definition of revolving credit is A. A credit arrangement, such as a credit card, which allows a customer to borrow against a pre-approved line of credit when purchasing goods and services. B. A credit arrangement, such as a mortgage, which allows a customer to borrow against a pre-approved line of credit when purchasing goods and services. C. A credit arrangement, such as a car loan, which allows a customer to borrow against a pre-approved line of credit when purchasing goods and services. D. A credit arrangement, such as a cash advance, which allows a customer to borrow against a pre-approved line of credit when purchasing goods and services. Answer: A. Revolving credit is a credit arrangement, such as a credit card, which allows a customer to borrow against a pre-approved line of credit when purchasing goods and services. The borrower is charged interest on the actual amount borrowed. Question 4. The original amortization term minus the number of payments that have been applied is commonly referred to as A. Remaining term, B. Loan payoff amount, C. Time before cancellation, D. Payoff term. Answer: A. The remaining term is the wording that is most commonly referring to the original amortization term minus the number of payments that have been applied. Question 5. When someone is referred to as a realtor, they are referring to a person who is A. A real estate agent, B. A real estate broker, C. Either a real estate agent or broker that is a member of the local real estate board affiliated with the National Association of Realtors, D. Only a real estate broker that is a member of the local real estate board affiliated with the National Association of Realtors. Answer: C. A realtor can be either a real estate agent or broker that is a member of the local real estate board affiliated with the National Association of Realtors. As a realtor, when printing the term it must be in all capitals with the registered trademark symbol. Question 6. A mortgage that is in default that is announced and sold in a public location to repay the delinquent loan amount is part of something called A. A public auction, B. A notice of default, C. An auctioneer's gathering, D. A fire sale. Answer: A. A public auction is a meeting in an announced public location to sell property to repay a mortgage that is in default. Question 7. Petty reserves must A. Equal the cash amount that the borrower would have to pay for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance for a predefined number of months. B. Be less than the cash amount that the borrower would have to pay for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance for a predefined number of months. C. Be more than the cash amount that the borrower would have to pay for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance for a predefined number of months. D. be excluded from the cash amount that the borrower would have to pay for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance for a predefined number of months? Answer: A. Petty reserves must equal the cash amount that the borrower would have to pay for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance for a predefined number of months. Question 8. This is a loosely used term generally taken to mean a borrower has completed a loan application and provided debt, income, and savings documentation which an underwriter has reviewed and approved. A. Pre-approved. B. Pre-authorized. C. Pre-proven. D. Pre-validated. Answer: A. When a person is pre-approved, it typically means that a borrower has completed a loan application and provided all the necessary documentation which a loan underwriter has reviewed and approved. Question 9. A prepayment penalty is referred to as A. A fee that may be charged to a borrower who pays off a loan before it is due to insure against loss of interest charge income. B. A fee that may be charged to a borrower who pays off a loan before it is due to insure against loss of mortgage payment income. C. A fee that may be charged to a borrower who pays off a loan before it is due to insure against loss of any income. D. None of these. Answer: A. The reason a lender may charge a prepayment penalty is to insure against loss of interest charge income on a loan. Question 10. Which of the following falls under the term real property? A. Trees. B. Crops. C. Fixtures. D. Furniture. Answer: A. Real property is the things that go with the land. Clearly, trees are not personal property, and it must go with the land. Therefore, trees is the correct answer in this case.
Passing the real estate exam can be hard, like really hard. Statistically, only about 50% of people actually pass the real estate exam on their first try. Those people that pass, they go on to become real estate agents. And the people that didn't pass, they either give up completely or have to try again. Both of these options are painful, disappointing, and upsetting. Exam Scholar Real Estate Edition has been named as the best real estate exam prep by multiple publications for 7 years in a row. If you are about to take the real estate exam, Exam Scholar Real Estate Edition is a no-brainer choice. There is no other real estate exam preparation service out there that comes close. To enjoy the longest membership time, lowest cost, real estate videos, audios, articles, flashcards, vocabulary, exam tips and tricks, a 1-year no questions asked refund policy, and be one of the 35,000 people that it has helped pass the real estate exam, then sign up in less than 5 minutes at www.realestateexamscholar.com.
Question 1. What is a realtor? A. A real estate agent. B. A real estate broker. C. A voluntary member of NAR. D. A voluntary member of NRA. Answer: C. The National Association of Realtors is an organization that, if joined by an agent or broker, allows that they can designate themselves as a realtor. There is a fee to join. Question 2. When all the papers are drawn up correctly and everything is ready for the final steps to close the escrow, which typically includes recording the deed, the escrow is called A. Complete. B. Ready. C. Finalized. D. Totaled. Answer: A. A complete escrow includes all the properly prepared paperwork and is ready to close the escrow. Question 3. Government surveys use sections, townships, and ranges to describe what about land? A. Location. B. Size. C. Boundaries. D. Acreage. Answer: A. Out of all the answer choices given, location is the most correct. The government surveys use sections, townships, and ranges to determine location of land. Question 4. In government surveys of land, why is meets and bounds used? A. To determine location. B. To determine outlines of a certain area. C. To determine contour lines. D. To determine fault line boundaries. Answer. B. The government surveys of land use meets and bounds to determine the outlines of a certain area. Question 5. If an appurtenant easement is not mentioned in the deed to a newly sold property, which is correct? A. The appurtenant easement runs with the land. B. The appurtenant easement terminates. C. The appurtenant easement reverts to the owners of the other property. D. The appurtenant easement converts to an encumbered interest. Answer. A. An appurtenant easement runs with the land no matter if it is mentioned in the deed or not. Question 6. What is a conduit? A. A metal pipe. B. Wiring. C. A connector. D. None of these? Answer. A conduit is a metal pipe that wires pass through in the electrical wiring of a house. Question 7. Value of a property is most directly influenced by A. Location. B. Zoning. C. Size. D. Shape. Answer. A. The most important factor that affects the value of a property is its location. The other answers do affect the value, but in a diminished way comparatively. Question 8. A fence, a separate detached garage, and a septic tank are all examples of A. Appurtenances. B. Easements. C. Personal property. D. Real property. Answer. A. Appurtenances are those things that are attached to the piece of land so that they become part of the land as it is passed to new owners. A fence, garage, and a septic tank are all examples of appurtenances. Question 9. How many acres are in a section? A. 640. B. 420. C. 740. D. 624. Answer. A. A section contains 640 acres. Question 10. How many acres are in a township? A. 640. B. 1000. C. 280. D. 23,040. Answer. D. A township contains 36 sections. Each section contains 640 acres. Thus, 640 by 36 equals 23,040 acres. Question 1. When there is more than one borrower on a note, the obligation to pay the balance is the responsibility A. Jointly. B. Severally. C. Jointly and severally. D. Individually. Answer. C. All of the borrowers on a note are obligated and responsible to pay the loan amount both jointly and severally. Severally means individually. Question 2. If a potential buyer sees a home that he or she likes but decides not to buy it because it seems overpriced, this would likely be based on the principle of A. Price. B. Conformity. C. Substitution. D. Habendum. Answer. C. The principle of substitution is the idea that there is an equally desirable property at a much lower price. In this case, the buyer is exemplifying this principle. Question 3. What happens when an agent/broker misrepresents the principal? A. Rescission or civil court action. B. Criminal penalties. C. Apologies but no legal action. D. None of these. Answer A. If an agent/broker misrepresents the principal in the sale, there should be a rescission or civil court action for damages. Question 4. If a buyer assumes an existing loan, the buyer also accepts what on the loan? A. Risk. B. Liability. C. Performance of contract. D. Insurance. Answer B. In this case, if a buyer assumes an existing loan, the buyer also accepts liability on that loan. Of the given choices, this is most correct. Question 5. The party that accepts the endorsed note from the original payee without knowledge of any defects is known as A. Endorsee. B. Endorser. C. Holder in due course. D. Truster. Answer C. The party that accepts the endorsed note from the original payee without knowledge of any defects is known as the holder in due course. Question 6. Most trust deeds contain several clauses of A. Indeterminacy. B. Acceleration. C. Habendum. D. Due process. Answer B. Acceleration means that if a buyer cannot make payments on a note, the lender has the right to declare the entire sum due and payable immediately. Most trust deeds contain several clauses related to acceleration. Question 7. The surface of the earth and the material beneath the surface of the earth is part of the A. Real property. B. Water rights. C. Section. D. Geolocation. Answer A. Parts of real property include the surface of the earth and the material beneath the surface of the earth. Question 8. Airways above a property are A. Public domain. B. Owned by the property owner. C. Owned by the owner up to 500 feet. D. Owned by the owner up to 1,000 feet. Answer A. Airways above property are now considered to be public domain. Use is granted to an owner to a reasonable height. Question 9. If a buyer defaults on a loan and the lender declares the note to become due and payable immediately, this would best be described as A. An exculpatory clause. B. An habendum clause. C. An acceleration clause. D. An momentum clause. Answer C. This is a classic example of an acceleration clause. Question 10. If demand remains constant while supply increases, which is most likely to happen in regards to prices? A. They will increase. B. They will remain the same. C. They will decrease. D. None of these. Answer C. Typically, when demand remains constant but supply increases, competition will increase and competitors will lower prices to outbid one another. Question 1. Prior to the sale of a subdivision, a subdivider must show proof to the real estate commissioner that A. Utilities, water, gas and lights will be on the property. B. Fill on the lots will not exceed 24 inches in depth. C. Parcels of land will be used for the purpose stated. D. Assessment bonds will not be used for off-site improvements. Answer. C. The Real Estate Commissioner is very much concerned that parcels of land in a subdivision be capable of being used for the purposes stated in the final report. The parcels may be sold without utilities, as long as they were not included in the report filed by the subdivider. Assessment bonds would be for sewers, street lights, curbs, etc. Question 2. Abel sold 6 unencumbered properties to Baker. Part of the purchase price is a loan made by Abel that is secured by a deed of trust on the 6 properties. This document is A. A quitclaim deed. B. A blanket encumbrance. C. An all-exclusive trust deed. D. A reconveyance deed. Answer. B. A blanket encumbrance is created when more than one property is placed as security for a note and trust deed. 6 properties are security for a single note and deed of trust, therefore it is a blanket encumbrance. Question 3. An employee of a corporate licensed as a real estate broker that is working as a member of the corporate sales staff. A. Does not require a real estate salesperson's license. B. Must be a licensed real estate broker. C. Must be a licensed real estate salesperson or broker. D. Does not require a real estate license provided that person is an officer of the corporation. Answer. C. All sales staff members employed by a licensed real estate corporation must have some form of a license, either a salesperson or a broker. Question 4. In addition to certain municipal or county regulations which apply to the construction of a subdivision, such as zoning laws and the State Map Act, other government regulations may be imposed upon the subdivision by A. Fire and building safety laws. B. The Department of Real Estate. C. Governmental lending agencies such as FHA and the VA. D. All of the above. Answer. D. All 3 choices may impose additional regulations which apply to the construction of a subdivision. Question 5. In the event the parties to a bulk sale do not comply with the provisions of the bulk sales law as outlined in the Uniform Commercial Code, the party that would probably be injured the most would be the A. Seller. B. Buyer. C. Creditor. D. Lender. Answer. B. When the parties to a bulk sale do not comply with the bulk sales law, any outstanding creditor may step in and invalidate the sale and take the goods and have them sold to satisfy the debt. The only recourse the buyer has is to chase down the seller who has probably left the country. Question 6. Property management, appraisal, financing, and development are all examples of A. Factors affecting demand. B. Specializations within the real estate industry. C. Non-real estate professions. D. Activities requiring broker management and supervision. Answer. B. All are specializations in the field of real estate. Appraisal and financing do not require real estate broker supervision. Question 7. A major manufacturer of automobiles announces that it will relocate one of its factories, along with 2,000 employees, to Smallville. What effect will this announcement likely have on Smallville's housing market? A. Houses will be likely to become less expensive as a result of the announcement. B. Houses will likely become more expensive as a result of the announcement. C. Because the announcement involves an issue of demographics, not of supply and demand, housing prices will stay the same. D. The announcement involves an industrial property, residential housing will not be affected. Answer. B. The expected arrival of 2,000 employees and their families in a small town will cause sellers to raise their prices in expectation of the greatly increased demand and the long time it takes to build new housing. It becomes a seller's market and the many buyers will have to compete for the few houses available. Question 8. Which of the following, when authorized by the broker, could make a withdrawal from the broker's trust account? A. No one can ever withdraw money from the broker's trust account except the broker. B. Any employee, as long as the broker is incorporated. C. Any unlicensed employee provided that the employee is covered by a surety bond protecting the broker. D. Any of the broker's licensees. Answer. C. By law, anyone other than the broker, such as a clerical employee, must be bonded in order to be able to withdraw funds from the trust account. Question 9. A lender of money on real property should be relatively certain that his mortgage is an enforceable lien. He can best accomplish this by A. Recording the transaction. B. A title insurance policy. C. Providing for an acceleration clause. D. A physical inspection of the property. Answer. B. The title policy would guarantee to the lender that there were no prior liens on the property. If any did arise at a later date, the title company would protect the lender at that time. Question 10. After the due date, Abel makes a payment on a mortgage loan. By statute, the payment on the loan is considered late when received by the lender on A. The first day after the due date. B. The 5th day after the due date. C. The 10th day after the due date. D. After the 10th day after the due date. Answer. D. By statute. Most lenders allow longer, i.e., 15 days, but this law establishes the minimum. Question 1. If a property has a large crop of annuals, which conveys as personal property? A. Trees. B. Crops. C. Mineral rights. D. Air rights. Answer. B. Without any kind of contractual agreement to the contrary, the annual crops convey as personal property of the person who planted them. The person may still harvest them as they become in season after the sale of the property. Question 2. Mortgages and trust deeds are similar by A. Securities. B. Title. C. Statute of limitations. D. None of these. Answer. A. Both mortgages and trust deeds are security interests in real property. In the event that the borrower defaults, they provided the legal right to have the property sold. Question 3. The final step in the statutory dedication process is A. The recording of the subdivision map. B. The acceptance by the proper official. C. The signature of the real estate commissioner. D. None of these. Answer. A. When the subdivision map is approved and recorded, this would be the final step in the statutory dedication process. Question 4. Any encumbrance placed on a property without the owner's consent is considered A. An involuntary lien. B. An abstract of judgment. C. An involuntary attachment. D. An involuntary judgment. Answer. A. An encumbrance is usually a monetary amount placed against the property. This is also called a lien. An encumbrance placed involuntarily can be considered an involuntary lien. Question 5. A person makes an offer to purchase a property that was shown to them by their broker, but then waits to present the offer to the seller until later that day. In the meantime, 2 more offers were submitted on the property. Under the rule of agency, the offer A. must be presented alongside the other offers to allow the seller to make a fair choice. B. Must wait to be presented to the seller because the other offers take priority in order. C. Is considered to be void because only one offer at a time can be placed on a property. D. Must be presented first because the offer was known by the broker before the others. Answer. A. Under the rule of agency, all offers must be presented to the seller. Question 6. A section in real estate is A. 1 square mile. B. 36 square miles. C. 7,467 square feet. D. 1,280 acres. Answer. A. A section in real estate is 1 square mile. A township is 36 square miles. The other two answers are equal to 2 square miles. Question 7. A person who is required to reside on the property and to sign a claiming statement is most likely referring to this. A. A homestead. B. A trust deed. C. A superintendent. D. A farmstead. Answer. A. In order to file a valid homestead, the person must reside on the property at the time of recording the homestead and also sign a statement that claims the property as a homestead. Question 8. If an agent is the agent of the seller, the agent owes the buyer A. Honest and fair dealing. B. Nothing. C. Fiduciary duties. D. None of these. Answer. A. The agent is required to deal honestly and fairly with the buyer when the agent is the agent of the seller. The agent owes the seller fiduciary duty. Question 9. As a tenant in a business center, the operating owner installs separate and additional lighting and counters to accommodate the retail business that is going to be operating in the space. Upon vacating the property at the end of the lease, the lighting and tables A. Are considered trade fixtures and are the personal property of the tenant. B. Are now considered part of the building and will convey with a sale. C. Can be removed but only by the owner's expressed permission. D. Must be properly removed by the exiting tenant. Answer. A. The fixtures are considered to be trade fixtures in this case and are the personal property of the tenant. While it is not required that they be removed, unless by contract, they must be removed carefully and any damages must be repaired by the tenant. Question 10. The license issued to practice real estate is considered A. A privilege. B. A protected right. C. A right granted by the real estate commissioner. D. None of these. Answer. A. The ability to practice real estate as a licensed professional is a privilege, not a right.
Exam Scholar, Real Estate Edition.